Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkey's Outdoors. Get all your hound hunting needs at conkeys.com. Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Welcome back to another episode of Tree Talking Time. The next couple episodes are a series from the Great American Outdoor Show. The Great American Outdoor Show is a 9-day show held in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania every year. It's usually the second week of February. It is the largest outdoor consumer show held in the United States. If you want to book a hunt to anywhere in the world, this is a great place to come meet outfitters and see different packages and hunts available all in one place. Some incredible taxidermy, a whole room full of archery stuff, whole room full of fishing tackle, whole room full of guns and gun manufacturers and accessories. It's a great show to go to if you're anywhere near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I usually go and sit down with some outfitters and some different guys. This year was the same, and there's going to be 4 episodes from the Great American Outdoor Shows in the next couple of weeks. They are shorter episodes because, most of these guys have booths and they're working, so I don't want to take up too much of their time. So here's the first one. Hope you enjoy.
Well, basically how I got into outfitting was in high schools when I went on my first bear hunt, I guess. It was right around 1974. So, yeah, I used to bear hunt with my dad and a bunch of friends. And, a few guys that were guiding a little bit. And, we got involved in it. And, like I said, we've always hunted, had dogs our whole life. So, my father, my grandfather, and it just progressed from there. So, yeah, got my guide license back in like 1980 and started doing this full time in 1989.
Wow.
Yep.
So you've done this majority of your life then?
Quite a bit of my life, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. No, I 1989, like I said, we jumped into this with both feet and started my business in Maine in the fall. And, I bought a business off a friend of mine, Stony Wade, and he had another lodge in Canada that I bought from him. And so anyways, we do this full time, got a spring season up there and a fall season here in Maine.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself, Bob?
Yep. My name's Bob Parker. I own and operate Stony Brook Outfitters in Wilton, Maine, Western Mountain region.
Okay. So we're here at the Great American Outdoor Show. You're the first victim of the show so far.
Yep.
And I've got a couple lined up this morning, so.
Okay.
But you're the first, and I've been on you the last couple of years to do this.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not much for talking and getting out in front of people, but
you like to talk. You're just nervous to talk with a mic in your.
Well, that's probably it.
Because yesterday you had no problem telling me good stories. So.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you got into this pretty young. So you said your dad and your grandfather, they hunted.
Yeah.
What kind of hounds were they running?
Basically, it was coon hounds back in those days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1974 is when we started bear hunting a little bit, and like I say, I just kind of got the itch, and it progressed from a couple dogs to 20-some odd dogs that we own now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what were they hunting back then?
Excuse me?
What kind of hounds were they running back then?
Walker hounds mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been Walker man all your life?
Not my whole life. I'm really not colorblind. There's good hounds in every breed. Right now, I'm leaning towards the English hounds.
Okay.
I like English pretty well.
Well, is that a recent switch? Because I think in the past you've told me you were you hunt mostly walkers.
Yeah, it's English seem to have everything for me. They seem to have the agility, the stamina, cold nose, grittiness. They seem to have it all for me.
Yeah.
Some guys are die-hard plot guys, and to me it doesn't make any difference if it's a plot or an English or really a walker. But yeah.
What do you look for in a dog?
I tell you, honestly, a dog is only as good as his feet. If his feet can't hold up, in my business, I need a dog that can run every single day. Mm-hmm. And, if he can't pull his weight, he's not benefiting me or my clients at all. So there's things you want to look at in a hound. I like, you like to have a dog that has got good brains. He's got the agility. He's got a good coat of hair on him. He can take, in the Northeast where we are, our woods are pretty dense and thick, a lot of brush. And a dog that's thin-haired gets beat up pretty bad.
Okay.
You need a dog that can take the the beating, and like I said, his feet's got to hold up. If his feet don't hold up, the dog can't go in the morning. You know, you need to find something you can run almost every day if you can.
Oh, yeah.
Every dog will need a break now and then, but, you want something that can hold up.
Do you have a size preference on dogs?
Honestly, I tell you, 35 to 55, 60-pound dog is about as big as you want. You don't need these dogs that are huge.
Yeah.
You know, the bigger the dog, the harder it is on them.
The more and more people I talk to, the more and more I hear that.
Yeah.
It seems to be that 50-pound dog is like the sweet spot no matter where you are in this country.
Exactly.
A 50-pound dog is as big as most people want.
Yep.
So.
And cold nose, honestly, again, I've been doing this such a long time that we were doing this before track and collars started.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the old beeper days when we started. Everybody had the beeper collars, and, now we got the GPS collars. And, some of us older guys, we're not as tech savvy as some of the young guys coming on board. But sometimes with the GPS collars and the tools that we have today, we're teaching our dogs to be more hot-nosed than cold-nosed. Years ago, I think we had better cold-nosed dogs than we got today.
Okay. Now, what makes you say that?
Just like trail cameras, all of us use trail cameras, to find out what's in the area and what time the animal's been there and everything. And, everybody's looking for the hottest track to put the young dog on. And, years ago, if we had baits out and we did a bait today and we went tomorrow morning and the bait was hit, we had no problem turning the dog loose on it.
Okay.
And the dogs will work the track up, make the jump and catch. Today, a lot of guys, they might look at something and say, geez, that bait was hit at 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. Let's try to find something fresher.
Okay.
And a lot of times I think you need to let your dogs out, let your dogs do their thing. And, we're teaching them to be more hot-nosed than they were years ago.
Makes sense. So what about the hound hunting really drew you in versus like any other type of hunting?
I'm not a patient person, okay?
we share that in common, Bob.
Yeah, I can honestly tell you, I make my living bait hunting and dog hunting, and I set up a lot of bait sites. I have never sat on a bait site and shot a bear over bait.
Yeah.
Myself, I like turning a dog loose, watching him work that track, cold trailing. You can, a lot of times I've been known to tell my hunters that, listen, what it is, I'm trying to pick out a certain dog. I can hear what he's doing. He's telling me a story.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You hear him cold trail. You hear him make the jump. You hear him make the catch. Or you change over the tree, Sometimes if they got the bear on the ground or the cat on the ground, you can tell just by the way they're barking what's going on there. And to me, I like to listen to my dogs and watch them progress.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and I think a lot of people that are listening to this will resonate with that. We're all dog guys, so.
Yep.
What stands out? How long have you been, since '89, so you've been doing this over 30 years full time. So I'm sure you've taken a lot of people. You said yesterday you do like 60 clients or something for dogs?
We take eight dog hunters a week.
Okay.
8 dog hunters a week for the whole season. So
what's the whole season?
Basically, it's like the second week in September to the end of October.
Okay, so almost 2 months. So you're
Yep.
taking a lot of people, with hounds every year. So
Yep.
I'm sure you've got some crazy stories and some
Yep.
good ones.
Earlier in the season, anybody can catch a bear. Later in the season, when the bears are finding it hard to get, then you gotta think a little bit differently, and in order to be productive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out of all your dogs you've ever had, what's your favorite dog?
I can't say I've actually had one favorite dog. We've had a bunch of them over the years, but I had one dog. I'll tell you one that just happened recently last year. Her name's Reba. She's a walker hound. It's during training season. The dogs are doing a good job, and this bear just didn't want a tree. And next thing you know, she's showing treed, but she fell out of the chase. So we went in the woods to see what's going on, and every once in a while, a dog happens to get hurt. We feel bad for them. We don't want to see this happen, but
No.
but anyways, this dog, she got hurt, and the bear had hooked her and pulled her intestines out.
Ooh.
So she was dragging them behind her in the woods, and anyways, we scooped her up and picked her up, carried her out, kind of holding her together with our hands as we got her to the truck. And I've seen a lot a lot of bad stuff. I really didn't think this dog was going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got on the phone, called my wife, and called the vet's office so they could expect us. And, I met my wife as she was coming towards me. We were heading to her. And anyways, I need to back up a little bit. This is going to lead to something else we should talk about, I guess, too.
Okay.
I had to try to figure out what I was going to do to hold her intestines in. This dog, she was standing on them, wagging her tail. She's glad to be with us, but she was hurt bad. And she's standing on her intestines, and they were coming out. So, what am I going to do here? Well, I just happened to have a dirty towel in the truck. It was better than nothing. Ideally, this is what I'd want to use, but I had a towel there, and I had some zip ties. So we made kind of a makeshift diaper rig and put it up around her back and held her together and got her to the vets. And long story short, a pretty extensive vet bill. That dog, she was on the chain for 4 weeks, and we weren't supposed to run her or nothing, for a while, let her heal up. And that dog was just bouncing around the dog box wanting to go and jumping up, jumping down, doing everything. And, I says, she's going to hurt herself right here if I don't even take her.
Yeah.
And 5 weeks after the time she got hurt, she treated a bear all by herself.
Wow.
And she's been going every day since.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
These dogs are tough.
They are tough, and they love what they're doing.
They do.
We're not being abusive to them. So probably a little thing we should, like I said, we need to back up a little bit. What us houndsmen ought to think about is carrying an old T-shirt or something like that with us, maybe even a bottle of water. And, if you had a T-shirt or something, you could dampen it, wet it so that nothing sticks to the T-shirt, and use that to wrap a dog up with it, hold it together till you get out. But
yeah. Now, I've had I had a vet on one time, and I've also listened to plenty of other podcasts that have had vets or people that have had crazy horror stories like that and kind of things to carry. And, and actually here at this show, Gun Dog Outdoors is here, and in no way sponsor this podcast or anything, but they sell, a vet kit that has a staple gun and everything. So I'm not saying, you got to patch it up and not take it to the vet. No, but just to get you to the vet.
Yes. Yeah. We love our dogs as much as we do our kids. And, we got to take every precaution we can to make it safe for them.
Yeah.
I can tell you, even honey and water, if you're running in hot temperatures, dogs get exerted.
Yeah.
I've had dogs that have collapsed from exertion. Honey and water, just give them a little shot of honey and water in a squeeze bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't take up a lot of room in your pack, but it's something that, you should carry with you.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you might even need it for the days out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, your training season, comes in July?
Our training season starts in July.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's hot, humid.
Yep. Yeah. You try to get started early in the morning when it's the coolest, but you never know. Sometimes the chase goes into the later part of the day. And
especially get on one of them smaller running bears,
Yep.
They can run all day long, so.
Yes.
And if they get into an area where you can't cut your dogs off, like you said, your dogs could be in there for hours.
Exactly.
So, no, definitely things that we need to think about.
Yep.
Conkeys Outdoors is proud to be a sponsor of Tree Talking Time. Family, hunting, tradition is the Conkeys motto. They understand the importance of passing down the tradition of hound hunting. They are a family-owned business that treats you like family. They also understand the importance of having the gear you need when you need it. Conkeys carries everything for your next hunt, and it ships to your door quick. They also offer great warranties on all tracking systems and financing options. Check them out at conkeys.com. You can also use the code TreeTalkingTime5 in all caps to save as well. You got some good stories?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Yeah.
Come on, you got to give me some good stories.
Well, I had this. I didn't even know if I should be talking about this story on here. Should I?
I don't know. I don't know what story it is.
Well, I had this hunter one time, and this happened a couple of years ago. Well, actually more than that now, probably 4 or 5 years ago. One of my game wardens had a bait right near one of mine.
Okay.
And we had a nice bear coming to my bait, and his bait was like a half a mile away. And anyway, so the game warden and I are good friends. So, I called him up, and I says, hey, I think I got the big one going this morning. And he was pretty excited. So he says, look, he says, you get him treed, let me know. And I says, yeah, no problem. So 20 minutes goes by, and the dogs are showing treed, on the GPS. So I called him up and told him, and he's pretty excited. And he says, I'm on duty. He says, you mind if I come in with you? And I says, that's fine. I told him where I'd meet him, and it's going to take me 20 minutes to get over there. And so anyways, I'm over there, and he pulls in, and he's pretty excited for us. And so I said, the good news is they got him, but the bad news is he's not treed. So, we get in the woods there with the dogs, and, they get him walking on the ground is what it is. And so I've got the hunter with me and his girlfriend and the warden and myself, and 4 times we have this bear that I got the guy at one knee and he got his gun to his shoulder, and I wouldn't let him shoot because it was thick enough that I couldn't tell which end of the bear was which.
Yeah.
I couldn't account for all my dogs. And like I say, I want to make it safe for the dogs and make a clean, ethical kill.
Exactly.
And so the hunter, he didn't shoot. And anyways, in the process of all this, it was so thick that my shoulder holster got caught in some brush as I'm going through the woods, and I pulled myself free. But in the process of doing that, I didn't realize it, but I had pulled my shoulder holster, my speed loader loose off my shoulder holster. So my warden happened to see it on the ground. He picked it up and had it in his hand, and later, he got up next to me and tapped me on the shoulder and handed it to me. So I'm thinking, geez, now what am I going to do with this? I can't put it back on my holster. So I stuck it in my pants pocket. And anyways, the bear had enough of us tormenting him right there, trying to get close enough to make the final shot, that we needed. And so the bear moved on to another mountain, and we had to come out of this piece of woods for another spot. So the warden, he had to go do his thing during Moose Week and check moose hunters, and he left. So when I found the dogs again, there was like maybe 500 yards off a road. We had 20 minutes before darkness, and, we eased in there. I told the hunter, I says, we're going in. We grabbed the dog leads, didn't bring the backpack with us. I says, we're either going to harvest this bear right now, or I'm going to have to catch my dogs off, one or the other. So we eased in the woods there, and we got in position. And like I said, now it's about 15 minutes before dark. Wind's blowing in our face, and I got an old skidder road I'm using for my left and right as a shooting lane in case the bear came towards us. Well, at that moment, I felt my back of my neck get cold when the wind shifted. So about that time, the bear smelled us again, and woof, woof, woof. The way he went, he went right away from us. The dog's right on his heels. We had nothing to lose now. We ran right in there like we were one of the dogs. And Ben, when I stopped, we were like 6 feet from a 400-pound bear standing there on all fours looking at us nose to nose. And the hunter's name, I told him, the hunter, I said, his name was Lyle. I said, Lyle, shoot him now.
Yeah.
And he brought his gun up and he shot, and the bear went down. The dogs piled on top of him. And because next thing I know, the bear jumps up on his feet, and he's throwing the dogs off him, and he grabs this one dog I got. His name is Jerry. He was an older Walker dog, and grabbed Jerry, and he hit him on the ground. He was on top of him. Jerry was letting the eyes out of him. I run over there, and I can't shoot down through this bear to protect the dog because the dog's on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I take my foot, and I push the bear, roll him off the dog, and he reaches out to grab me, and because I have to shoot where I can, but we're allowed to run 6 dogs in Maine. And if you can imagine standing with a 400-pound bear with 6 dogs around you, and the bear's trying to get me, he's wounded, trying to get the dogs, it was chaos. And I had, a 6-shot revolver, and, before I'm done, I got my gun's empty, and the bear's still very much alive.
What are you shooting?
44 Magnum, 629. Okay. Yep, Smith & Wesson. And anyway, so now I got to reload, and the dogs, the coyote and the bear's thumping them, and I step back and I go to load my gun, and I reach for my speed loader, and it's gone. It's in my pocket now. I'm thinking, where is my speed loader? Well, it's in my pocket. So anyways, I'm fumbling it around. I got my revolver in one hand, the speed loader in the other hand, and I'm trying to get this Velcro case open to pull the speed loader out. I need 3 hands, and it's chaos. So I holler to the hunter. I says, Lyle, shoot that bear, and I happen to look up, and it was so thick. Lyle's looking, for the bear, and I'm looking. The bear's between me and the hunter, and the bear is standing on all fours. The top of his back is over Lyle's waist.
Oh, geez.
And it's brushing against the back of him as he's looking the opposite direction. I'm saying, my gosh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I got to do something here. So anyways, I focus on my gun, and I'm starting to reload, and I hear his bang. He shoots again, and about that time, I can hear him hollering, screaming, help, help, he's got me. Well, I look over there, and here's my hunter now on the ground, on his belly, with his hands up behind his head, and the bear's on top of him with both front legs wrapped underneath his armpit with his jaws on my hunter's neck. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't good. I have to do I have to do something here now. So I run up there with a gun, and I can't shoot down through the bear because Lyle's on the bottom, my hunter. So I can hear my father in the background preach to me gun safety. My dad always preached that since I was a young child, and I'm thinking to myself, but I got to do something here. This is going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
And I put the gun on the bear's chest, over the top, through the bear's midsection. Lyle's on the bottom, but I was shooting sideways across the top of Lyle. And anyways, when I shot, the bear died, and Lyle looks up at me with eyeballs as big as saucers. And I says,
too.
"Are you okay?" And he says, "I think so." And I says, "Can you get out of there?" And I'm thinking, this man's got to be hurt. And he crawls out on his elbows, slithers out, and at this time he's freaking out because he thinks he's bleeding to death. He can feel the hot blood all over him.
Yeah.
Well, the man didn't have a mark on him.
That's incredible.
When I finished that bear off, the bear bled out on top of him, and that's the part that he felt, and he thought it was,
Yep.
So, anyways.
Well, if a bear was on top of you mauling you, would think you feel blood? It's logical to think it's mine.
Myself too. Yep. So, anyways, situations, you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing everything to make our hunters safe, keep our dogs safe.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get up close and personal, and the stuff that we see that most people can't is just. Yeah. And just watching these hounds love what they're doing.
Absolutely.
What's cruel and humane to them is to keep them on a chain and not allow them to hunt.
Exactly. No, it's crazy. Like you guys, as an outfitter, and like I said, I've had quite a few outfitters on, and you guys get to see more than most people ever do, just because you're in the woods that much more, and you're also taking people that are not experienced houndsmen. I go hunt. I'm going and hunt with experienced houndsmen. I'm going and hunt with guys that know what they're doing, and there's a group of us like that.
Yep.
You're taking people that have no idea what they're doing, no idea about hounds, and it adds a whole nother level of complexity and danger.
Taking them out in the woods and trying to make it safe.
Yeah.
And Ben, I can tell you, there's a lot of places I've been that I never would have gone on my own if it weren't for my dogs taking me there.
Yeah.
The dog takes you you can pretty much, when you get, I don't care if you're lion hunting or if you're bobcat hunting, bear hunting, you can pretty much look around the area that you're going to be and see the roughest place to get to, and you're probably going to end up there sometime in your lifetime.
Yep. That's for sure.
Yep.
Now, I've been on some mountaintops, and I'm like, what am I doing up here?
That's right. But what a feeling once you're up there and you look down and take the picture, and now you can,
Yeah.
Yep. I've been up there and I've seen it.
Yep. Well, anything else?
No. The only thing I would like to say is, the sport that we do, we love. The antis would like nothing better than to take our hunting, fishing, and trapping away from us.
Yep.
We need to be vigilant in what we do. The story that I just told you people is, a story that I've had to myself, and I've hesitated about even telling this story because I don't want to get it twisted around wrong. But any one of us and any one of the animals that we chase with our dogs can get into a situation. But like I say, we love what we're doing. We love our dogs. We want to keep them all safe. And these antis, they like nothing better than to take hunting, fishing, and trapping away from us. In Maine, I can tell you, because I was the treasurer of the Guides Association for about almost 25, maybe even 27 years, we went through two bear referendums in the state of Maine where the antis tried to take our bear hunt away from us.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it was to generate money to try to fight off the antis, even though we have the warden service, biologists, and 90% of our state was behind us.
Yeah.
That 10% of that state's where all the votes are, and these people, they'd like nothing better to do, take a hunt, fish, and trap and away.
Exactly.
But we need to build up a war chest. We beat the antis 2 times in the state of Maine because it wasn't just Maine people. It was people outside of Maine came and helped.
Yeah.
U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance is one. Even Buddy, DU Hunting Supply, all these people, they helped us, to defeat the antis. We need to be as organized as they are. Yeah. And we need to build up a war chest. And if the fight is in, I don't care if it's Washington State or if it's in Idaho or if it's in Pennsylvania, we all need to step in together and help
Definitely.
to try to fight ththese people off.
No, and I think right now Colorado's the big fight right now. So definitely be paying attention to that, people, as this year's they're going to be voting on outlawing hunting cats. So
yeah, it's all these animals. We are conservationists. We want a healthy population.
Yep.
We work with the biologists. They listen to us. We listen to them. We understand that to have a healthy population, you can't not hunt these animals, but you have to keep them at a number that is sustainable, that they can still reproduce and still have a healthy population.
Exactly. This is your business. So, you need bears every year. So, yeah, sure, you take, say, something ridiculous. Say you take 1,000 bear hunters this year. Well, then for the next 5 years, you're not going to have any. So to do that is dumb. You need sustainable populations where you can go every year, you can hunt every year. So people, these antis, they make it out oh, you just want to kill all the bears. No, you don't. This is your business. This is your livelihood. That makes no sense at all. Common sense.
Yep.
You need a sustainable population that we can do this every year. Steady.
Exactly. I can tell you, the state of Maine, they want us to harvest right around 4,500 bear a year is what they want. And we haven't been able to achieve those goals because of weather conditions or natural feed and stuff like this. But, we're right around 3,900 to 4,000 bears what we're harvesting.
Okay.
We need to harvest that number of bears in order to have a steady, healthy population.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about dog hunting is when we're out running our hounds, we tree a bear. If it's a sow with a cub, sow and cubs, we don't shoot them.
Yeah.
That's the ethical thing to do, is we don't harvest them.
Yep.
If it's not a mature bear, we don't harvest it. But if it is the bear that we need to harvest, we have the opportunity to make a good, clean, ethical kill.
Yeah.
And, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
We don't want to wound the animals and, make it inhumane. But like I say, we are conservationists. And
no, the story you just told us, the best case scenario is you shoot that bear and it's dead, instant.
Yeah.
You don't want to have something like that happen.
Yeah.
This guy almost literally could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Guy could have seriously gotten hurt or killed or possibly killed. That's not good for business for you. You don't want that kind of stuff. You want a quick kill, but unfortunately it's hunting. It's not. This isn't a perfect fairy tale land.
Things
happen.
Yep.
So.
And like I say, it's. Every hunter has different abilities. Some of us can't walk as fast as we used to. Some of us, we can't get to where we need to as fast as we need to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in our business, when we're booking hunters, clients, the clients need to realize also that it's not fair to the dogs or fair to the owners of the dogs if they can't get to where they need to go when they need to be there.
Yeah. I was talking to another guide yesterday here, and he was saying, these older guys wanting to book mountain lion hunts with him in Montana. And he's like,
yep.
I'm not trying to be rude, but he's like, I don't know if you can make it. This is extremely tough country.
Yeah.
Straight up and down, lots of thick blowdowns and stuff. He's like, I don't know if you're physically capable. And he's had to literally turn away business because he's like, I don't think you can do this.
That's right. You need to be honest with your client and honest with them. They need to tell you if they've got any issues that you need to know about before you enter the woods and proceed into these. Yeah.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, everybody's got to go home.
Yep. That's the goal. Everybody, all the dogs, we all want to go home safe.
That's right.
Well, Bob, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me here today, and hope you have a good show.
Well, thank you, Ben. I do appreciate it.
Yep.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.